Welcome. In front of me I have the brand new Apple Watch Ultra, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick spec look. Now I won't be actually connecting it to the phone just because that takes a little bit too long, and I just want to do like a brief overview of it. So anyway, let's just pop it open. As you can probably see, the packaging of this specific Apple Watch is a little bit different than what it's usually like. Usually you have this like long box, but here have a little bit more what I would consider clean looking packaging right here. Oh, there we go. Now I do like the presentation. That's probably one of the most high quality instructions that I have seen. We're gonna come back to it just in a second. I'm gonna get rid of just get a first look at little nice kind of picture that they used here. It's a subtle touch right here, but it does make the unboxing just more pleasant, I would say. We get the strap and obviously the watch in separate boxes, kind of like the lower end models of it. Now let's go back to this. So what else we got? That's, to be honest, I believe just a simple instruction. So yeah, we have how you put on the straps, the buttons, pairing. Then we got more information about the buttons and what they do, with this high quality pictures, colored ones as well. So yeah, it looks like Apple did want to give a really nice premium feel to it. Now this probably will be the warranty. Nope. Anyway, I'm just gonna put that back. Let's move over to the actual watch. Now typical of the Apple, we do have these nice little pull tabs, but did it actually open up? Oh yeah, it did. There we go. So here we got designed by Apple in California, and the coordinations, I assume, from where it exactly was designed. Just probably would have been more fun if they also added where it was manufactured. So somewhere in, like, you know, Bolivia or somewhere with children or something like that. Could have been also a nice touch adding that, so we can actually get a full picture right here. But anyway, here we actually get a decent looking cable. No way. Apple, you're feeling alright? Gee, that is a braided cable. Are you okay with that? Like, it is a premium product, but technically all your products are premium. And I never seen a braided cable from Apple. This looks like actually it might last a little bit longer than the typical trash cable that you get in the box, but it might not. And here we get the little charging. So just flip that out, and there we go. So it is also in a nice metallic finish. So here we get the little magnetic thing where you just slap it in like so, like I just did. It looks really nice and high quality. Anyway, let's move over to the actual watch itself. So I'll be probably not the first one to say this thing is actually quite big. So let's see if I can, come on, let it go. There we go. This thing is huge. Now I'm gonna put it down a little bit out of the shot and move over to this. Okay, there we go. Just to kind of show this off in a most hilarious way, I'm super skinny, as you can probably guess by the size of this wrist. So let's put one of the biggest watches on the market, at least smartwatches, on this relatively small hand and have a laugh about it. So now putting on process is just a little bit wonky because it doesn't like go fluidly. If you try to like pull it, as you can see, it gets stuck. I can make it even more loose and you can see it gets stuck. So this, I wouldn't say it's the best design here. And I think for my wrist, this is actually too big. So just put on the last one. There we go. And it looks like I have just a clock from a wall on my wrist. So there we go. Fantastic. I might as well just, with this size, strap my phone to my wrist and similar. There we go. Anyway, let's just take it off if I can. There we go. Now, I'll be honest, this strap design, not the best. Not the best. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this strap design. There was, I believe, a couple additional versions of it. Let's just quickly get a look at it. So this is the one that we have in a way. It looks like there's a normal silicone one looking, and it looks like there's also one that stretches, I think. I'm not exactly sure. If that is the case, I would probably go for something smaller. Now, I know that the light version of the watch, or the cheapest one, did come with a strap that you get to pick a size off of. It didn't have any kind of like parts that you could just take, and this, take it off. It was just stretchy, and you just stretch it over your arm and it would hold it. But yeah. Now, as you can see, there is our massive display. This is just a huge display. We do have a crown with really nice haptic feedback to it. The reason why I mentioned really nice haptic feedback is because I did unbox yesterday the Pixel watch. So the brand new Pixel watch that was like leaked a couple times, and that is also technically a premium device, not as premium as this one, but the haptic feedback on there wasn't as nice as it is in here. This just feels nice. Anyway, now quickly going over the specs of this device, we have a 1.9-inch display right here, so that is a big display here. It's a 502 pixels by 410. Again, really big display. Now, we have IP6X certification. This is just like water resistance, I believe. I don't exactly know how good this is, so I'm gonna quickly check, but I assume it should be pretty decent. Let's see. So IPX6 dust tight. Well, that's not the best, so it's apparently only dust resistant. Eee. Hopefully I'll get in a list to some kind of atmosphere resistance. But anyway, moving further on, when it comes onto the display, just finishing this off, it's a 338 pixels per inch. It's a LTPO OLED display with a peak brightness of 2000 nits, which kind of resembles the iPhone 14 lineup. The phones there also had 2000 peak brightness, so this display can get freakishly bright. Obviously it's a retina display. Now, if I'm correct, retina just tries to signify that it's good enough resolution that you won't see the pixels, but I could be incorrect. We also have a sapphire glass right here, so this should be really resistant to scratches, so that's really nice. And we have always on display, which you would guess from an OLED display, and also a watch. Now moving on, it's running on a chipset Apple S8 with a Wear OS 9.0 upgradable to 9.1. We have also a 32 gigs built-in storage and everything else that you'd expect from Apple Watch on top of that. Now last thing would be the battery size. So here we have a 542 mAh battery, and that's about all the worth mentioning specs right here. Probably the last one would be the actual price, though this isn't a spec. So this is not the cheapest watch. It comes at $799. That is, I think, ridiculous, to be honest. So anyway, this watch is premium. I get what they're going for, as meaning Apple. They're trying to make a watch that just feels more like tries to cater to people that would want modern version of Rolex probably. But let's be honest, this, unlike Rolex, a couple years in the future won't be as usable as a Rolex is. And price-wise, it's not the cheapest. Paying $800 for a watch that might last you just a couple of years is a little bit ridiculous. So yeah. Now obviously it's basically gonna act as a normal watch. It also can be substituted for a phone. So I did watch a video, actually, just randomly encountered it on one point. I would really like to give a shout out to who it was from, because it was a really nicely made video. But the guy there decided to use the Apple Watch as a phone for literally everything: paying, GPS navigation, calls, and all that stuff, music listening. So he was using things like Spotify and even Apple Music, GPS maps here to get routes, obviously paying in stores. One thing that I'll mention from his video that that he did mention was when it comes down to Spotify and Apple Music, Spotify, when I guess running from LTE or mobile network, tries, or maybe Apple is trying to make it gimped, because he mentioned that every time song ended he would need to go back to the application to like refresh it, because it would just disconnect, something that Apple Music didn't do magically. Who would have thought that a competition here just doesn't work when the actual default one does? Now this isn't done, deliberately. No, I'm pretty sure Apple would never do that. But yeah, anyway, so finishing this off, it's a high quality device, but when most of you will, number one, need an iPhone for this, because you do need to connect it to something anyway. Even though this device can literally be a phone in itself, you still need a phone to connect it to, which baffles the mind of a smartwatch being not smart enough to work without a phone. It just gets a little bit confusing. Why is this so freakishly expensive when it supposedly is catering to substitute a phone but still needs one to function? And honestly, at this price range, I feel like if you just like to burn money, then obviously go right ahead, let Apple burn it for you. But if you prefer something a little bit more reasonable, then probably going down with the lower end models of this watch might be more beneficial to you if you just want the usage or usability of an Apple Watch, but you don't really want the most expensive one, which kind of makes it has just weird design choices here that it confused me in a way, because like I said, this in itself could substitute a phone. Any actual smartwatch could at this day and age. Might not last the entire day, but this specific one lasts pretty damn close to an entire day of usage. And with that in mind, why would I need to still connect it to a application? I would just like to, for instance, go to setup. Maybe I'm wrong actually. Let's just quickly check. Let's look for Poland, which will be right at the end. Boom. Setting language. maybe I'm incorrect, which would be a surprise. Open an Apple Watch app on your iPhone. Never mind. I'm not wrong. So yeah, we need a Apple phone to connect an Apple Watch that, once connected, doesn't need to have the phone around, but you still need the phone for initial setup. Now, this isn't necessarily the only device that does this. Obviously, Android side has the exact same kind of setup, but let's be honest, it's not required anymore. You could use just this and shouldn't need a phone to set it up. It's just a way for you to be forced into having an iPhone, at least in this case. At least on Android side, you can pick up any cheapo Android, but Apple isn't necessarily that cheap. And requiring one to set up this is just a massive middle finger in my opinion. So anyway, if you found this video helpful in any kind of way, informative, my opinions might sometimes be a little bit out of the ordinary, I guess, but if you found it helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.